Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we are all on the Janemba trains. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you're new, subscribe for more content like this. And for today, we are going to be talking about Ultra Janemba. So I want to know, just in the very beginning, post a comment down below while I get texts. Post a comment down below on your opinion on Ultra Janemba. Do you think he's broken? Do you think he's trash? Come on now. Come on. Seriously, do you think he's broken? Do you think he's trash? Whatever. What are your opinions on his placement in the game, his meta relevance, things like that? Those are all things that we're going to cover for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion video. Hit that thumbs up. Like I said, subscribe if you're new. The like goal for today is just 500, so hopefully we can hit that pretty easily. So a few days ago, you guys can't see me because the me in the video is covered by the me currently, and it's confusing. Anyway, there's two DFrees on the screen, technically. A few days ago, I did a tier list video, as you guys see. I'll leave it down below in the description in case you happen to miss it. But I did talk about the Ultra characters only. And ultimately, at the end, I talked about Janemba and Vegito Blue, because it's obvious they're the best two Ultras in the game. And I talked about how Janemba, in particular, is really, really crazy. Don't take it any other way than to say that, like, Vegito is an amazing character. They're the best two Ultras. But I think that Janemba is the best one currently in the game. Now, part of that is because I think, like Vegito Blue, other characters, depending on the meta, the other characters in circulation could be risers or fallers in terms of like their relevance. Like Vegito Blue could soar higher than Janemba if the counters start popping up for Janemba, and you know, maybe they give us some other characters to use alongside Vegito Blue, etc. But Janemba in particular has like one really distinct problematic trait, and it's really ironic to say this, and this is just my experience. So I did a showcase for him that you may or may not have seen, and yeah, there was face cam in it, so check it out. I'll leave that one in the description. And I used him alongside Ultra Super Gogeta, and it was like a Fusion Reborn type of thing with those two. I didn't use like PyCon or anything else, but yeah, if you guys want to see PyCon in a video, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Post it down below. But one thing that I brought up was that, like, I didn't realize how oppressive he was until I actually played against him, because reading his kit is one thing. Using the character is another thing. And then there's also the perspective of when you play against a character. There's always three perspectives. You may not have ever heard it put that way, but that's the reality. There's always three perspectives because these units interact different ways. Like you don't literally see, you may be aware of it, but you don't literally see what the opponent is experiencing when they're versus your characters, right? Like you don't see their hand, you know, evaporating or their key. You don't see it, but you know it's there. And so Janemba in particular, when I was using him, I didn't experience this, but when I went up against him, long story short, I came to the conclusion that Janemba is an absolute disgusting character, because the opening sequence with this guy where he has his gauge and he has blast armor, you are pretty stuck. There's almost nothing you can do. And so my experience has been, just give the dude his gauge. Just pop it instantly, because you're good. There's nothing you can do. So like if you try to use a blast card, a good player is going to fly through that and get priority anyway. You see what I'm saying? So like I asked on Twitter, like, or on X, I asked like one opinion on the Janemba character, and Goresh was like, yeah, they should probably have taken off blast armor. And again, it's like one of those things. It's like, well, why would they do that? But then in actuality, when you experience the wall that is Janemba for that first sequence, you literally can't do anything because you're gonna get punished for it. Literally. There are other characters that have mechanics like that where it's like, oh, you might as well put your phone down, you can't play the game, there's nothing you can do. Like Cell, for example. When Cell pops his revive, you lose. You just lose. Or his what's it called? Final counter, whatever it is. When you kill Cell, you lose. Because he's gonna destroy your stuff, he's gonna lock you in, he's gonna remove your rush, and it's like he's gonna remove your gauge. It's like, I can't tell you how many times I had a match versus Cell that was money. It was absolutely money. And then I killed Cell, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna lose. Because you're just gonna lose the character, and then you probably just lose, right? So there are other characters that have stuff like that, but Janemba in particular, being as relevant, as strong, and all that stuff as he is, that version of that effect is pretty disgusting. Because also, the funny thing is, if you happen to get his priority or whatever the case is, like his vanish, excuse me, he's gonna get it back. He's gonna get it back, and he draws a free ultimate. You're gonna eat the ultimate. You might as well just pop it early, man. Just eat the ultimate, screw it. And so, yeah, so I asked a few days ago when Janemba popped up, I guess this was the day of, the 17th, I asked, what are the opinions on Janemba? And I actually doubled back last night and asked again. I want to see the opinions people have. So again, I really want to get feedback. This is a community response video. Post your stuff in the comments and I will be replying to a lot of you guys. And if you tuned into this video and the previous others that I mentioned, I really appreciate it because the viewership's been kind of bad lately. But anyway, so Lewis, shout out to Lewis. He did not get Janemba. He's a huge Janemba fan, the biggest one I know. I think Janemba and Gengar are like the two characters I see with him all the time. But yeah, so unfortunately he didn't get him. Hashi says, amazing, glad we got someone to handle UVB. Now we wait for Go Frieza. I remember clicking into this, I think, and there was a response saying Goku did it, but it wasn't like good enough or something like that, the blue Goku. What are your opinions on blue Goku? I think I saw, who was it? Playbox? Shout out to Playbox, the homie. He did a video where he was asking, like, is that Goku overrated now? I don't really know. But one thing that's for sure is that, like, Vegito Blue was caught in the crosshairs. It's unfortunate that they keep putting out new characters that are made to play in the Vegito Blue meta and to play around him and counter him. Because Goku and Frieza are the real ones that need a counter, but that's because these characters are designed in advance. And they also, I keep saying this, they also designed that buff for Go Frieza in advance. Yes, they did. But the thing is, when they put that out, they still also had Janemba done. They had all these characters already done, and they were anticipating Vegito Blue being the best character in the game. And you know, he was for a little bit, in my opinion. Very Ultra Janemba-y. Okay. All right, Brian. He has freed us from the UVB administration. UVB purple patch. He is really good, but he is going to be very annoying. I wish this kit was fun to fight against. Like I said, you can't do anything. You don't do anything. The only thing you can do is just force it to happen. And if you don't have a character that's going to live that, like somebody like a Jiren or something like that, you're going to really struggle. So yeah, he literally shuts down UVB to the point where he's effed UVB. But as a unit, man's easily top 5. He's going to be disgusting and toxic with him, Kid Buu, and Ultra Gogeta Blue. I think there's a platinum equip that's been teased for a LF. I've been saying in videos that I think it's Piccolo, because Piccolo is a premium character that underperformed, and I wouldn't be surprised. And then also Kid Buu, Piccolo, and Janemba. That's going to be damn disgusting. Damn disgusting. It's already quiet as it's kept. Already pretty tough to play against that team anyway. With those characters in Cell, oh my god. Oh my god. But when Piccolo gets a buff, if he gets a buff, he is, man, you can't touch that team. All right, Toxic AF, regen 90% will be number 1. Strike counter, rush control, insane damage, color protection, type advantage to Vegito Blue and Goku and Frieza. 2 AoE greens. By the way, like I didn't really deep dive into Janemba because he does so many things. The Dragon Ball removal, the sub count stuff, like he's just all over the place. He just does. That's funny. Saying Janemba's all over the place is actually very in character. But yeah, so he's just insane. He's basically Ultra Gogeta Blue 2.0, and he shouldn't be hard to work around. That did not age well. He's not really Gogeta Blue 2.0. He's just got a better version of the same gauge, but, you know, that's pretty much it. I mean, he can't get it as reliably as Gogeta can, but also not having to eat hits isn't a bad thing either, right? So, well, that's one way to solve the Toxic, by adding another Toxic unit. I've said this a few times in videos. My opinion is that, like, I don't really care. There's nothing that they can do anymore. Like, they've broke me. They've broken me with all of the power crept characters and strong releases. They've broken me to the point where I don't really care anymore about how toxic a character is. Like, it sucks, don't get me wrong, but like, whatever, man. Like, whatever. Remember, like I used to say, like, oh, power creep is crazy. Oh, this and that. I hate that they did this. I don't want them to do that. I don't care anymore, bro. I'm not saying I don't care about the game. I'm saying I don't care about their failed attempt at balance. It's not supposed to be balanced, so might as well just exist with that idea. Same situation as Buu. If this guy would be normal sparking, there would be no difference. Basic animations, nothing special. Oh, okay. So he's just saying that, like, the quality of the character in terms of the actual animations. Yeah, the last couple of Ultras, aside from Vegito Blue, have not looked amazing. I think there's some, like, little moments where they look good, but that's about it. I mean, Vegito Blue looked really good, and they gave Vegito Blue that little tap thing to really add a little bit of a feel to him as a premium character, as an Ultra. The problem Ultras will always fall into is the fact that they're not LFs, until they are anyway. So they're never going to really be all that flashy, right? So it is what it is. I'm not caught up in the manga, but it's cool he calmed down and learned Ultra Instinct. Okay. Too many blues. We need greens. They hate greens. Should have had, which again, Piccolo, that's another reason why, like, if Piccolo does get the equip, some people are saying it's Dragon Fist Goku. It's either him or Piccolo. And that's also what I've been saying. It's one of those two. But like, if either way, if it's a good LF, well, there's a green to use, because the only other green really people are using is Rosé. There's a couple other stragglers like Gohan, current Piccolo, right? Like, there's some stragglers, but there's not a lot of green. There's a lot of blue though. Ultra Janemba looks really cool. Wasn't ready for that. So some of these are just the initial reaction because it's the same day, right? Where like you haven't seen him in game. I believe I asked this right after the video and stuff. So shout out to everybody that did reply to this. Rice here quoted my video, said, "You said it best. I totally agree with your point of view. For those that didn't get the Ultra Janemba analysis," oh, he talked about my initial video. By the way, Goresh is asking to hear which of these characters is getting a plat next. I think they're both high on the list. Yes, I know they're new. Yes, I know there are characters that need more. I don't care. I don't think that matters, especially after they've been on a huge hiatus for platinum equips. It's probably one of these two. Just saying. So let's go ahead and go to the more recent comments we have. So again, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and post your comments down below. I want to see the section flooded. I want to wake up and be like, damn, there's too many comments to reply to. The only change I'd make to him is remove the blast armor. I did already bring this one up because I did reply to Garage, and I told him I already explained this. I explained to him how, like, you know, I didn't realize how oppressive he was until I played against him. And I was like, if you saw that showcase video, it was the very last match. And again, it's in the description when you finish this. It might even pop on the screen if I remember to do that. I remember saying, like, wait a minute. And my reaction was like, I can't do anything. Like, you can't do anything. It's just so free. He's just so free. You can't do anything. So he's pretty impressive or oppressive. Prof says not start the game with Gage, but frankly he's fine. Positive addition to the game. The positive addition, I'm pretty sure, is sarcasm. The fine is sarcasm. But not starting the game with the full Gage is pretty. Like, if he started with half of a Gage, that would make a huge difference, because all of a sudden you can interact with him. Literally, I can't stress this enough. You're gonna get hit with an ultimate. You're just gonna get hit. You're just gonna get hit with an ultimate. And if you don't get hit with the ultimate, like, here's the funny thing: if you somehow get priority on him, you better avoid using any strike actions or blue cards that trigger strike animations. You better avoid it, because you may forget mid combo and he's just gonna get a free ultimate counter back on you. Like, that's the annoying thing about it, is that it's a built-in special cover change anyway. If you happen to get him by stroke of luck, if you happen to get him, you're not gonna have him for very long, because your combo is not gonna be long. Z says, sucks because I didn't pull him. He's crazy and his damage numbers are absurd, but I can see him being aged out quickly. His defenses are really bad. The moment we get a top 1 green unit or something, he's going to lose a lot of value, but in the current meta, he's so hard to stop. So I don't really know about the defenses. I didn't look at the stats for the defense, if I'm being honest. This is not what I need to see. I need to log into the game. I don't really know about the defensive comment. About the teams. So I kind of disagree, because Janemba's teams are really, really, really well-rounded. So, like, the game never really completely boils down to colors, right? Because if you're going to say X color exists, a top 1 green, for example, all of a sudden Janemba can't be used. That's not really true, because these characters have neutralities. They have defensive neutralities. And above all else, okay, you can use your top 1 green. Say that's Piccolo, right? You can use your Piccolo, but I'm going to use Cell. Okay. So as long as I don't let you get my Janemba with the Piccolo, okay. So, like, that's the thing that's always kind of annoyed me. And I'm not saying this person's annoying me, but that's the thing that's always annoyed me about discourse in this game, is that, like, oh yeah, we have the best character in the game is this color, so obviously these other characters can't be used. I mean, I understand seeing that other character that's the best character in the game in every match would make it difficult, but if you run a counter color, you should be fine. That's where, like, Goku and Frieza are insane, because they're not like reverse element like some other characters. They are 2 different elements, so it's really hard to match them, right? And so Janemba has movies, he's got regen, he's got top tier characters all around him. Like, seriously, all around him. So I don't really know about him getting aged out. The defense thing feels like like it doesn't really matter too much because there's not very many characters in this game that actually have defense anymore. The game is like 90% offense, and if it's not offense, the 10% that's left is other utility effects: Dragon Ball removal, key reduction, card destroy, other things like that, debuffs like, you know, damage reduction, debuff. That's what it is. Like, there's not really cut anymore. Like, there's cut, but the characters do so much damage that it doesn't freaking matter, bro. Like, the cut numbers to even matter, I think, need to be over 100%. We have damage over 100 and, like, what, 150, 170, wherever the Janemba modifier is. I think it's 150, right? And that's just for, yeah, it's 150, but this is just one line in this entire paragraph. Do you think he doesn't get more damage than that? But, like, characters are going to have 70% cut. 70% cut is just enough not to get blown up in one card. That's all it is. 2 cards max. So, yeah. And if you have type advantage, or disadvantage, you probably will. So it's just kind of weird. Starting with Gauge, drawing an ult from the Gauge, and it does the insane damage it does are fine individually. Doing all 3 at once is unacceptable, and Blast Armor on top of being immune to strikes. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain, yeah. Only way to beat him is to have a defensive ace. 14-star, 9999 yellow Jiren. You have to eat the first counter ult. Like I said, you do have to do that. It is 99% impossible to avoid. You need Supreme healing on your team. He's got that Piccolo there for the healing and stuff, some Zenkai buffs. I respect the vision. Yeah, long story short, it's really tough to play around this guy. I'm sorry, but I cringe so hard fighting against him. Probably way worse than UVB or Go Frieza. I think in some aspects he is worse to play against than those characters. And one thing that I always was really critical of with Ultra Gogeta Blue was the fact that at some point your options are limited. He's gonna just get his Gauge, and he's gonna make it to where you have no choice but to give him the Gauge. Because here's the deal: if you don't give the character the Gauge, and this will apply to Janemba too, because they have the same Gauge, just Janemba's is just better because he draws an ultimate. Like, that's literally direct power creep. A special move or an ultimate. Special move, ultimate, like, that's direct power creep. So I was always critical of Gogeta because at some point you weren't going to be allowed to play the game. You were going to be forced to give him the Gauge, because if you don't give him the Gauge, he's going to control the game. He's going to make it to where you can never use any blast cards or any, even blue cards like that. You're going to just be stuck. So what I would do, and this is the same thing I'm going to do with Janemba, I would just give it to him. just freaking give it to him, bro. Because all of a sudden, if you're not using cards, you're not getting Dragon Balls, you can't pressure the same way. It's not as bad with strikes as it is with blasts, because blasts are less likely to get you caught in a combo. If you're doing full screen strikes, you may or may not get snap vanish into a perfect vanish, perfect vanish into a combo, excuse me, things like that. If you're doing mid-range strike, good luck. Good luck. If somebody did a mid-range strike against my Janemba, I may just avoid it with a vanish and then get the full combo and save my Gauge, because it's gonna give me like everything else anyway. It's gonna give me another vanish. So, like, yeah. Blasts, though, you can kind of play around a little bit. You can pressure differently. That's why Blast Armor is so strong, and that's also why Janemba having Blast Armor is pretty insane. So in some respects, definitely tougher to play against. He solo teams in Gresh's 5-time showcase. Yeah, that's one thing I don't really do anymore, is the 5 times, 3 times, 4 times showcase. Do you guys care about that? I don't really know. So like, sometimes I stop doing certain types of content because a lot of people are doing them. Like, a lot of people. And the funny thing is, like, it's a lot of content that I was like the first person or maybe the second person at worst to do, and then they catch on and everybody does. And I'm not mad at that. It's just, to me, in my head, it's like, damn, now I got to move on because I got to find something else to do. Like, because I don't want to be doing everything that everyone else is doing. Again, I'm not like mad, not flexing, nothing. Just commenting. Thoughts? He is an Ultra. Okay. Yet another unit that highlights the big issue leader slot is, and why it is the biggest mistake the game has ever made. I will have another discussion video on that. In fact, I'm probably going to record it right now. Is he broken? Yes, but Regen needed him and deserved him. That's fair. The issue is seeing him on 90% of the teams in the matches with Go Frieza, TOP 17, Rose, UVB. He's Regen and movies, basically. Gogeta. That's why I said just a minute ago, Janemba is not a character that's going to age out, I don't think, anytime soon. I don't think he's aging out anytime soon. He's a character, well, you better hope he doesn't age out. Because if he ages out, that means other characters are aging out as well. And that just means the power creep's gotten worse. You know, at a point, like I said, I don't really care anymore, but at a point, I'm like, bro, where are they going with this? How much further can they really find ways to screw up power creep just to make things worse? Like, the numbers keep getting bigger, the stats get bigger, yeah, but they keep adding in other effects and stuff, like, you know, Vegeta Blue, inability to destroy his Dragon Balls, his cards. Like, they just keep coming up with shit. So, like, at what point is, like, the limit reached? They're really creative when it comes to finding new ways to add more power creep. Even little things on the margins, like I said, the special move ultimate thing between Gogeta and Janemba, they have the exact same effect, but one gets the ultimate, one gets the special move. Janemba seems absurd. I feel like he's going to age just as well. Somebody else saying the opposite, or what I was saying. If not better than Ultra Gogeta Blue. I'm curious to see damage as defense once he's off Featured Boost. Featured Boost, I think, is... like, I think Featured Boost is the worst thing the game's done. Because Featured Boost has created a situation where characters look better than they are on release than they actually are, right? Because they're getting the stat bump. So when they first come up, they look like they blow everything up. And then they lose those stats, and they still do good, but they're doing like 80% of what they did before. And they're taking, you know, they're taking like less than what they were taking, more damage than they were before. And so also, another thing too, why the Featured Boost is the way it is that characters last on there for so long. They last on there for like 2.5, 3 months. And coincidentally, that's about how long it would take for the characters to come back. This is why the Featured Boost exists, because it puts an onus on players to say, I'm going to summon for the character right now and not wait for the rerun, because when they rerun, they're going to distinctly be worse, and they're going to have some element of power creep. They're going to be a little bit worse because power creep, whatever. They're going to be worse because they're going to be off the Featured Boost. Like, things like that are why the Featured Boost exists, because it's there to generate more rev, obviously. Less annoying than Go Frieza in 17. Okay. I don't have him, so, like, okay. Nice summon there. Pin is still the same. Terrible release. Oh, there's I'm gonna end on this. Dude, I thought this was hilarious. There's an entire Twitter account dedicated to hating on Ultra Janemba. I saw this. He's picked up some following. I saw when he only had 1 follower. I thought it was so funny. The entire point of this account is to just reply to everything Ultra Janemba related and hate on him. It's so funny. So we are going to conclude today's video. All in all, Ultra Janemba is definitely an interesting character and one to keep your eyes on. And if you guys didn't see my tier list video or the gameplay video, I'll leave those down below in the description. They should also be clickable on your screen. Once again, have an awesome day. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.